morning. My name is Jeff Levinson, and I am co-president of the Adult Polyglucosan Body Disease Research Foundation. It is my privilege, along with founder and co-president Emil Weiss, to welcome each of you to the 2022 APBD Scientific and Community Conference. On behalf of the APBD Research Foundation, I want to thank you for joining us here today. We are thrilled to have over 150 conference registrants contributing your voices as researchers, healthcare providers, industry, not-profit, and government representatives, people whose lives have been directly impacted by APBD and other allied diseases. You are joining us from across North and South America, from Israel and Poland and France, and from the UK and the Netherlands. We look forward to spending the next 2 days exploring further our individual and collective roles in making treatments a reality for individuals and families impacted by APBD. The conference will include sessions oriented towards a scientific and medical audience, and tomorrow, a parallel community session tailored especially for people with APBD and their loved ones. Specifically, there will be presentations on the latest advances in drug development research, clinical practice guidelines for GSD type 4 and APBD, a GBE1 related disease prevalence study, and updates on clinical research initiatives. We will hear about challenges of diagnosing APBD, and throughout the next 2 days, our conversations will be guided by lived experience of people with APBD and caregivers. I'd like to acknowledge the Foundation's growing team of consultants who have brought us here together today. Thank you also to Calliope Gleros, Clarissa Tanner, and the Philanthropy Without Borders team for managing today's conference and our many events over the past 2 years. I would also like to acknowledge the Foundation's Board of Directors and the Pharmaceutical Development Committee led by Kathy Fanning. Kathy's unique skills honed during her 30-year pharmaceutical career have brought a high level of professionalism and expertise to the APBDRF. We are grateful to the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative's Rare as One program for supporting this conference and helping us to expand and enhance our outreach to researchers, healthcare providers, and other stakeholders across the globe. Also, a special thank you to Penn Medical's Orphan Disease Center, sponsors of the $1 Million Bike Ride supporting preclinical APBD research. Together, we raised over $500,000 for APBD research since 2014. Several of the programs you will hear about today were supported by pilot grants from that program. Our next bike ride is on June 11th, and we encourage you to join us virtually. The Milken Institute's Faster Cures CZI mentorship program has enabled 3 years of mentorship from Sue Kahn, previously executive director of the National Tay-Sachs and Allied Disease Foundation. Sue's guidance has been instrumental in our successes. And to our scientific advisory board, academic researchers, and the institutions with which they are associated, we owe a debt of gratitude. That includes Columbia University, NYU Langone Health, UT Southwestern, Duke University, University of Pennsylvania, Tel Aviv University, Newcastle University, University of the Balearic Islands, Hadassah University Medical Center, and others. There are simply not enough accolades in the English language to shower on our researchers. We hold them in the highest esteem. Our gratitude to our community also has no bounds. It is you who, since 2005, have helped the APBD Research Foundation fund more than $1 million in research grants to many of these institutions. APBD research has come a long way since the early 1980s when my father and uncle became ill with a condition that had no name. It is around the same time that Dr. Salvatore Damaro, a past member of our scientific advisory board, first described the unnamed condition in the literature. In 1991, Dr. Alexander Losis gave APBD its name, and shortly thereafter, discovered one of the most common genetic mutations of APBD. An astute New York neurologist sent blood samples from my father and uncle to Hadassah University Medical Center. And it was confirmed that what they suffered from was APBD. I believe that it was a small comfort that my father and uncle left this world knowing their correct diagnosis. In 2005, a few years after my father and uncle died, I was catapulted into the rare disease world when Dr. Edwin Kolodny, director of neurology at NYU Medical Center, asked me to join him in his office for the foundation's first meeting. On that day, I met for the first time the remarkable Weiss brothers, Gregory of blessed memory, who was the foundation's first president, Emil, current co-president, and Michael. All three were diagnosed with APBD. Dr. Kolodny nurtured the foundation. As a clinician, a researcher, and an advocate, he has seen the pain and suffering APBD causes in patients and their families. Dr. Kolodny has recently retired, but we are beyond grateful for the wise guidance and all that he did for our cause over the last 2 decades. We stand on the shoulders of Dr. Kolodny, Dr. Damaro, Dr. Losis, Dr. Raphael Schiffman, Dr. Jesse Cedarbaum, and others, as we continue to diligently and tirelessly, relentlessly work to find therapies for APBD and allied diseases while improving the lives of patients and families impacted. Today, our foundation continues to make strides. The funding of over $1 million in research grants has accelerated critical research advances from the identification of causative mutations to the development of mouse models, to high throughput drug screenings, and the advances of numerous therapeutic development programs that we will hear more about today. We recently hosted a biomarker symposium and led an FDA session. We continue to expand our network of APBD researchers and clinicians and work to develop relationships with public and private partners. We host monthly patient and caregiver chats, connecting the dots between patients and healthcare experts. Beyond our monthly newsletter, we raise awareness about APBD through initiatives like, for example, articles in the Rare Revolution magazine and our documentaries on the Disorder Channel. We are grateful to be strengthening our relationships with other patient advocacy organizations representing allied diseases. We welcome and thank Chelsea's Hope Lafora Children Research Fund, the Keith B. Hayes Foundation, representing RBCK1, the Association for Glycogen Storage Diseases, and the Israel APBD Foundation. Some of these and other collaborations you will hear more about during the conference. Despite the substantial advances that we have made, there are still no approved treatment options at this time. And we know that with under 5% of 8,000 rare diseases having any therapy at all, approval for therapies is a daunting task. We know that we must prepare our community to participate in one or more natural history studies. We know that we must pursue the identification of additional biomarkers so that the impact of coming clinical trials can be evaluated. We know that we must look at the research opportunities that are being presented to us and find a way to fund them. Working with others, we are leveraging new technologies and gaining an ever more sophisticated scientific understanding of APBD and allied diseases. We are on the cusp of developing disease-modifying, life-changing therapies. It is all of us together, patients, caregivers, allied disease organizations, clinicians, researchers, industry, other foundations, volunteers, donors, private financiers, that will ensure that we are able to find therapies and a cure for APBD and allied diseases, and thus eliminate or at least ease the hardships that so many have had to endure. The role that each of you plays in our community has enabled the progress we have made. We will continue to need each of you as we strive to realize our vision of a life free of APBD. We believe that not one more person should suffer from APBD and allied diseases, and that in working together, a treatment is within reach. I'm honored to be part of this endeavor, and I'm thankful to all of you here today for your extraordinary support and outstanding contributions to our cause. Let me end with a quote by Elie Wiesel. Our obligation is to give meaning to life, and in doing so, to overcome the passive, indifferent life. All of us here represent the antithesis of passive or indifferent. We are dedicated to fulfilling our obligation to make our lives meaningful. We wake up every day ready to give our all and make a difference in the world. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your participation in this conference.